I kind of want to do this, chat. We're gonna be doing like an impromptu Khaiza Dojo, right? This will be the first time that we're doing it on stream, right? Because I usually do like YouTube recordings, and that way I prepare myself and do it. But I thought to myself, I think a friend of mine tweeted me out this on Twitter. This is Judex Zero, or Judex Radiant. He's a cool homie of mine. He plays anime games. He plays all that jazz. So be sure to follow, subscribe him, whatever. He's a really chill person. And so he tweeted me this, and it was like a quoted tweet of like famous, well, not famous, but a very. He's a well-known FGC streamer named Sonic Saw, and someone like showed him a picture. Someone like gave him like, you know, or like he pulled up like all of like, you know, the dead games or dead FGC games that I think like his stream pulled up, or like he pulled up like specifically. That's a little bit something. But I was surprised to see that like some of like these images right here are like considered dead games, right? Because, you know, Blaze, this is like Persona. I see Persona. I see DNF Duel. Let me F11 this. There are questionable debates, and that's why I want to do like this impromptu Khaiza Dojo, because it's like, wait, are these like games technically like dead, right? There's DNF Duel. There's Melty Blood. There's Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I don't know what the fuck this game is. I think that's Blaze Blue in the back. Yeah, that's Blaze Blue. There's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, KOF 15. I'm pretty sure there's like a little bit more, but yeah, this is like what I want to like do as like an impromptu Khaiza Dojo, and we're gonna make this as like an extra episode, because, you know, it's not something that I plan to do, or I have something planned for like story modes, but I feel like I want to talk about this, so this takes like precedent, and we're gonna be doing a story mode with a special guest of mine, so look forward to that. But so this brings up to the topic of discussion, is that impromptu episode. What makes like a fighting game like dead, right? So what does it mean for like an FG, or like that's my slang for a fighting game, to be quote unquote dead in the water, right? Like there's no life, there's no sign of life, there's no pulse in this like person or thing, and it's like he's kaput, he's done, right? And the term dead is a little bit is a little bit floating in ambiguity, right? When it comes to like fighting games. And so if you put those like two together, like a fighting game and dead, what does that usually come out as? So what that means is that if a fighting game is like dead, chat, it means is that, you know, there's no support, right? There's no there's no like continued help from developers or publishers of said fighting game, that there will be like more updates for the game, right? You can have like bug fixes and like those like quality of life updates that like you could get in like Windows and shit like that, annual updates. But for a fighting game, it's like different. Quality of life updates don't really matter to a fighting game. What matters is that if a fighting game gets more life is based on like, you know, are there more characters, are there more like stages, is there more updates to the game than just, you know, balance patches and battle balance updates, patch notes or something like that, you know? And well, even then, like battle balance or patch notes is a little bit of an argument of contention, because, you know, the game is getting an update, but not in the ways of like, oh, a new character, a new sign of like life sort of thing. And that's what like FG's like nowadays like, you know, strive on is that we need more characters, we need more variety. We're not dealing with the same meta for like God knows how long since a fighting game like came out. And so this is like a little bit curious because, you know, my friend quoted me, my friend Judex0 quoted me this on like Twitter, and there are some games that like in Sonic Soul's stream, FGC player Sonic Soul, excuse me, pulled up, and I was like, alright, let me talk about this, because there's some like debatable games that are not really considered like dead in the water, right? Like is KOF 15, right? KOF 15 came out like almost like, was it like last year? No, it was February, right? Oh yeah, that's right, because KOF 15 was sandwiched between Horizon and Elden Ring, right? And game was like popping off. It is SNK's like greatest game to like come out post-COVID era, and everybody enjoys KOF 15. You got a fantastic roster, you got wonderful like gameplay mechanics, improvements of KOF 14 and KOF 13 are in KOF 15, but a lot of things happened with like KOF 15, which is like, you know, the matchmaking took way much longer in like ranked, so you have to like hop into like a room match and actually get the game's proper, you know, not proper, you get the game's like full extent, you get the game's full enjoyment of KOF 15 by doing like room matches. And if you want to like do matchmaking, you have to wait for like 3 or 4 or even like 5 minutes to connect to somebody, and the matchmaking most of the time won't work in KOF 15 because when you want to play somebody online with randos, you want to fight different people. And with KOF 15 is that you're fighting the same dude after like 5 minutes and you keep getting that same guy. That's bad matchmaking, right? So that's like a huge negative problem that came out from KOF 15 is the bad matchmaking. But regardless of that, KOF 15 is getting support. Right, we just had Team Samurai. We just had Team Samurai last week in KOF 15, and we're gonna be getting a season 2. How the fuck is KOF 15 dead if SNK is still making like characters and battle balance updates for that game, right? Like, how is that dead? And then of course there are other games here like Melty Blood, right? Melty Blood is a weird one because, you know, Melty Blood just like comes in and out. And what I mean by that, no, not in and out, sorry. Melty Blood is so random, right? Like, it's like the game that like I expect Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, right? Like, and what I mean by that is Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, you were not given any indication of a season pass update. You would only find out of a season pass update through like IGN and from like a, let's say, a Frosty Faustings tournament, and that, oh shit, season pass 4 came out for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and it's like, that's awesome. Like, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is one of my favorite versus games, right? But their season passes would come out randomly, right, at times, right? We did not expect Power Rangers content when it was like alive, but now it's like officially dead because, you know, Enway wants to do like fucking NFT bullshit with their like new games, so they made like a new Power Rangers like mobile app game, right, where you can collect like custom Power Rangers like badges as digital like currency or some shit. And it's just like, that's how Enway is doing their Power Rangers games now. But Melty Blood is in the same vein as Power Rangers, right? Because all of a sudden Melty Blood would get like a seasonal update of a new character without anybody like knowing. It would just like shadow bomb. You would get like some waifu like character from the Melty Blood universe as an extra character, and it's like, oh, more content. So I can't say Melty Blood is dead, right? The game, it's also KOF 15. KOF 15 timeline reasoning is that Melty Blood came out like literally half a year ago, right? It's still new, right? It's still like fresh, so it's not really like dead. It's still like getting content here and there, so I don't see how that's also I don't see how that's also like dead in the water. There's like Grand Blue, right? Grand Blue is like, I don't know what the fuck Sonic Soul put up on like his stream, right? Like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, it's like a game that came out pre-COVID era, right? And it was going to be like, I think it like came out at 2018. When did Grand Blue come out? It was 2020. Oh, so it was like on the eve. It was like on the eve of COVID, right? Because like 1 month prior to that, it was 1 month prior to that, government shut down, and you know, you couldn't like go anywhere, and everybody had to like stay indoors, some shit like that, you know. So Grand Blue got a lot of support, right? Even though it was a bad delay-based netcode like game, even though the combos in Grand Blue were kind of like meh when I like think about them and see them now. It just never like interested me. But Grand Blue got a lot of support. It's featured in tournaments. It had like their final boss characters of the game, which is Avatar Belial, and that the upgraded version of that like psycho chick that loves like Katarina or some shit, you know? So Grand Blue is not really like dead, and plus it's getting more tournament scene support from FGC community, so the game is like still thriving. The game is like still thriving, and so on and so forth. I could like tell, and so on and so forth. All like the reasons like I could come up with from this like list is like, okay, these games are not technically dead. Some of them like are, right? Because I think we talked about this before, and it's like DNF Duel, right? DNF Duel is a weird one because, you know, it's Neopol, it's IDing, so you have like two reasons embedded in them that like, oh, DNF Duel is made by Neopol, a Korean company, right? And DNF Duel, the game, is made by aiding and art systemers who reside in Japan. So there's like a localization like barrier between them. So it's hard for DNF Duel to get like more support when you have like that language barrier. And of course it's an IDing game, right? And IDing are like super infamously known for some Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Naruto, Clash of Ninja, and some other games that... Oh, they also made like the Bloody Roar series. Right, they also made the Bloody Roar series. So their track record of like maintaining fighting games is like, either you make like sequels to those games, so like Capcom style, when you have like Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4s, those shits like that. If you don't have those, then like the game is like dead, right? Look at Ultimate Marvel 3. Ultimate Marvel 3 was like a known example because it's made by IDing. You look at like the combos there and you can tell it's made by IDing. But it's just like a small update with only a few extra characters, and that was really it. And then fans collectively came together, like Tabs and EMC and Malamander, and made their own modded update, which is the palette swap mods. So fans can like continue the game, right? Obviously, that will not make like a game technically dead. Because look at MVCI, right? MVCI is still getting like tournaments. it is like also true dead, right? But fans have kept that game so strong, their community is like so tight-knit that they get like daily like tournaments for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, or weekly like tournaments, and the game is like enjoyed by those who love it, right? So it is technically dead. Fighting games can be technically like, you know, dead because, you know, they don't have any like support and whatnot. They don't have any official statements from the publishers and the developers behind those fighting games, right? But they're also in a way not dead because, you know, fans can like pick it up. Fans can continue that support and dedication through their community and host like, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite tournaments or MVC3 tournaments, and I still find them to be some of the most enjoyable tournaments than some of like the AAA budget like fighting games that are currently on in FGC tournaments, right? So the whole like debate of like, you know, dead or not dead is, you know, I don't want to say this, but it's up to your perspective, right? It's in your view. How you view as like dead is totally up to you, right? When I say like dead, I think of like support from developers, but if you have another alternate universe, Bayonetta alternate universe definition of like what dead means, then, you know, chat with me. I really want to like hear, right? Like, this is very, very like curious to me because, you know, I think of dead as like dead, like no support, no update. Fans can technically give it out, oh right, but there's no such thing. Well, let me rephrase that. There's no such thing as like a dead like fighting game, right? Because fans will like pick it up. Fans will still, hardcore fans will still like play it, right? And, you know, it's a 50-50, right? It's a 50-50 on what makes like a fighting game like dead, right? And I don't really much like to say a fighting game can be like dead, right? It is true because there is no support, but at the same time, right, you can obviously fucking play it like either once in a blue moon, or like if you're very invested or very enthusiastic about your dead fighting game, you can host a tournament about it. So just go nuts, go whatever, go play your like fighting game, right? I still want to play MVCI, right? I just like installed MVCI on my Steam, and I remember I have a blast just like learning my combos again, learning like loops and all that shit. It was mad fun, right? But yeah, like that's what I wanted to like bring up and discuss because, you know, because like games are like not dead in the water, right? I don't like to consider games like officially like dead, right? There's still life to be had with them, right? And now it's like they're going radical, and now it's like fans are going radical by saying like, you know, GG Strive as like one of them. Like GG Strive is not dead, right? We're still in like season fucking 2, right? And Arc System Works is a small fucking company, okay? Right? Like, we don't have a definitive edition of Guilty Gear Strive. We don't have Guilty Gear Strive Magnolia or some shit, right? We haven't even gotten to like season 2. I mean, we kind of touched on season 2 with like Bridget, but we don't know what the roster is. You don't know what any other like updates are in that game. So I don't know, man. Like, people are weird sometimes. People are fucking weird. What they like spout out and consider. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I just want to yell. What's up, James? You missed it. We were just talking about what makes like a fighting game like dead, you know? And we just like ended on that.